So I think we can start. We got good population. So Jamal has a comment. I have to try and download college university address. That's a good idea. If you still have that, if you still have access to your university email address, for sure you can try it. But what Irani did yesterday was he initiated the request and put down my number. Actually, I got a call today for the verification, but I was in a meeting and missed it. Then later on, when I called them back, they were not lifting the phone. So probably I'll touch base tomorrow with them, and as soon as I have it, I will test this first, and then eventually provide you the credentials so that everyone can log in and use, try to use. Remember, it's just a trial, so you have to be really quick. Okay. These are the days. These are the days that you have to work hard. Trust me. Once these are passed, once you get a job, it's a new level that you have to start. That you will start, and then learning more. what we are learning with this training, not necessarily you will apply everything in your job. Whenever you get a job, basically they, of course, that's pretty understood, right? They would look for a person based on the requirements that they have. Maybe for big companies like Abbott Laboratories, Facebook, Google, they have so mature teams. What I mean by that is they have, for every project, they have 2, 3, or 4 people working on that project, dedicated. That's how the big companies do. For the small companies, it will be like one person handling 2, 3 projects, or a company that have a security team just started. So it really depends, and it depends on luck, like where you get the job, whether you will get into a company where the security team just started and you will get exposed to a lot of different things, or you will land up with a company where they have a mature team and they will just put you in one particular project, for example, TVM or endpoint protection or some other project, and you'll be dedicated working on that project. So it depends. But what I'm giving you is the full complete exposure. What will be really useful for you to be analyst. There are much more, of course. I mean, I don't know everything, to be frank, but what all I know is what I'm teaching you guys, and trust me, that will really help you to get a job and be SME of particular projects that you can run by your own. So so I think we can start with the new topic. Any questions before we start, or any comments, any concerns? Okay, so I think we are good to go. So as of yesterday, what we have completed is threat vulnerability project. That was the very first project of the training, and before that we went through some basic stuff like networking and just a little bit background around what security and all those information. So we completed good stuff from TVM standpoint, and also covered web applications. Gave little information around what are web applications and certificates, what are the top 10 vulnerabilities and tools, techniques, and how you can utilize Qualys to run automated scans on websites. So Qualys is done. Yay, first project is done. So the second project that we are going to focus is endpoint protection. I mean, I did mention in the Qualys web app scan, but that was a part of Qualys. I just called that separately because it is part of Qualys, but that's a complete separate module of Qualys that focuses on only web applications. Okay. So we completed that, and today we'll focus on endpoint protection, CrowdStrike. What I'm going to cover, CrowdStrike is one of the tools that is used for endpoint protection. So we'll start with what is endpoint protection. We'll first understand where it's installed, how the tool runs, and some basic things that I would like to show. After that, we'll directly jump into the tool, how it looks like, and you know, what all are the modules that CrowdStrike provides, how you can maintain, how you can start with. Now, not necessarily if you join a company, not necessarily they might use CrowdStrike, right? They might have some different solution like Symantec or McAfee, Trend Micro, a lot of different things, but the concept will be same. The intention will be same. It's just the interface of the project, interface of the tool will be different. the way they have structured or the way they have laid out. But pretty much the project aim will be saying to protect laptops, I mean, protect endpoints in general. I guess someone unmuted. Any questions? Or it was just a noise? I think someone unmuted. Hi, Joyin. Yeah, I guess it was Joyin. Okay, so yeah, CrowdStrike. I mean, I'm really familiar with CrowdStrike, and that's the reason I'm showing you CrowdStrike as endpoint protection. But as I already mentioned, when you enter, hi Toyin, good to have you back. So when you enter a company, not necessarily they will have CrowdStrike. Okay, the way you can tackle that situation is if you get a job in a company, right, and what they will ask is that questions will be that okay, are you familiar with what is endpoint protection? That will be the very first question that they will ask you. Okay, they will not ask you, hey, are you the expert of tool and stuff. What companies usually look as a person who is capable enough to drive the project, because no one, I mean, if even though they're looking for a person, not necessarily they will not hunt for a person who has knowledge around all the tools. Okay, what they focus personally. I mean, I also do interviews for my own company. I've recently hired two security folks. Like one was intern and another is in process. The intention is to look in the candidate whether that person is capable enough to drive a project, does that person have that critical thinking, or what I would say, a mature process, a mature thought where the person can start from scratch, drive in a proper format, and then land into a proper solution, a proper state. That's what companies look for. And of course the knowledge around security. You cannot, I mean, if you have a better understanding and you're mature enough to drive any project, but doesn't mean you don't have to know about security. Of course you have to know what are the things that make security, right? So I will be giving you a project-based description and knowledge around it. So wherever you go, for example, you got hired in a company and they have another tool, you can simply say, okay, you can simply tell them, I know the concept, I know everything, I mean, how to drive, I've used this tool, but in your company, I believe you're using Symantec, for example. You have to showcase that, okay, I can try, I can learn, I can do my best. So that should be the attitude, and that's what interviewers usually see. Okay, the enthusiasm of learning, the enthusiasm of how focused you are, right? So that's really important. Tools and technologies, trust me, anyone can learn. But that building the attitude, having that right set of skill set, that's really important. Okay. So to start with the project, endpoint protection. So what is basically endpoint protection, right? We went through the basic structure of the company, right? Oh wait, where's that slide? Oh, then just okay. I got freaked out. Where's the slide? So remember we did discuss typical network infrastructure of a company, right? Now, Qualys, what threat vulnerability focused on? It was focusing on all the devices to find vulnerabilities, correct? Using Qualys. That was a very first project. So eventually, I mean, do not get confused between projects, okay? Make sure you understand the aim of the projects and keep it isolated, okay? So threat vulnerability management project aim was to find hidden vulnerabilities into assets like laptop servers, switches, routers, etc., using Qualys, scanning, IPs and stuff, right? Now, the second project that I'm going to talk about is endpoint protection. How are you going to protect? So the very first project was finding vulnerabilities, right? What is already in the endpoint. But second project, which is endpoint protection, is all about protecting real time. So if there is any active attack, vulnerabilities is different, attack is different. Okay, vulnerability is a loophole or a weak point from where hackers can attack. Okay, but what I mean, protecting from attacks, that's different. So do not get confused between, hey, vulnerability and attack, okay? So endpoint protection will prevent from getting these assets compromised, getting compromised, or protect from the hackers who's trying to attack. Now here's the logic. Attackers use vulnerabilities, you know, the loopholes in order to attack. So we covered the first part, which is vulnerabilities, done. Now we are focusing on the second part, which is attacking, okay? So endpoint protection is basically to protect our assets. And so what are we protecting against, right? That would be the question. So we are protecting our laptops, of course, from virus, malwares, phishing attempts. If someone is trying to get access to your laptop or trying to, you know, compromise your system, that these are the attacks, right? Now, how these attacks are possible on a laptop or a server? So these are the ways hackers try to infect or attack your system, first of all. So now imagine a real-time situation. You have your laptop, right? What ways do you think your laptop can get infected? First of all, when your laptop is connected to internet. That's the very first thing, right? That's the way. When as soon as you connect to internet, you open a way for others to discover you, right? It's like you're joining the whole network, the internet network, and you're making yourself visible, saying, "Hey, I'm also a member of your network to internet," right? So the very first thing, you open doors as soon as you connect internet. Now, of course, without internet, no one nowadays, I mean, we cannot do anything, right? Just having an offline laptop, the max you can do is maybe install applications or just play games or do some stupid stuff. In order to connect, in order to explore the world, of course, you have to get connected to internet. So as soon as you connect to internet, you open the doors for others to see you, right? Now, what are the ways, right? As soon as you connect internet, how you actually browse internet using your browser, right? So one of the way you can infect your system is go open a website which is malicious, which has something that gets downloaded to your laptop. So for example, oh, let me check the chat. I think someone did message. Oh no, my bad. Okay. So the very first thing is online browsing. You connect to internet, you open a browser, right? And you browse a website which is not HTTPS or a website that is malicious. You will not get to know if that website is malicious or not. You just randomly, for example, you go find a movie. One day you decide to watch a movie. So you go online, you try to search a free movie, right? And those are the, I mean, I'm just giving a basic example. Those websites are really malicious because as soon as you, I mean, once you start browsing those free websites, they might download some adwares or some viruses behind the scenes. You will not get to know those. Maybe many of you might have experienced where suddenly some pop-ups appear, or suddenly your website browse to redirects to some other website. These are all the things, all the weird things that happens when you go to these type of websites that downloads adware or some small viruses into your system for this type of behaviors. Okay, online browsing. Now that's one way. That's the second way is emails. So I'm just explaining you what are the ways that these viruses, malwares, these things reach out to you. Okay, it will not come from nowhere. It should drive from the action that you do on your laptop, right? I hope that makes sense, right? So very first thing was online browsing, of course. The second thing are emails. So you get an email, right? And you don't know the email who sent it, and it has a link or some attachment. You just go and click the link or open the attachment. Attachment might have macros. What I mean by macros is, for example, you get an Excel sheet, okay, Excel file. And in that Excel file, there can be some macros. Those are codes, small codes that run on your system when you open the file. Okay, these type of attacks, that macros can be depending on the hacker, how that hacker is planning to attack your system, right? Or a link that comes into your email and you click the link. What happens when you click the, it will redirect to some domain or gets downloaded or something, or some viruses get downloaded to your system. That's the second way. And the second way is really common. Oh, my bad. The second way is really common when it comes to corporate life, because in a typical organization, they will block a lot of websites. Down the line, after like I guess 1 or 2 projects, that's also one of the projects that I'm going to discuss, how company or how security folks control your online browsing capability, like block websites, parent and control. Okay, but yeah, we are going to discuss down the line. But I'm just sharing your knowledge around that. Okay, right now. So the second way is phishing emails. That's really common in corporate, in organization, in companies, because of course, without email, your job is impossible, right? So that's a very easy way that hackers try to attack users, company employees using emails. So that's a second thing through which these viruses or malwares can get downloaded to your system or can reach out to you. Okay. Now the third way is installing unknown applications. So you decide one day you decide to download something, or you decide to download an application that do some purpose. For example, I download Cisco application today on my other laptop. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that Cisco is malicious, but if you decide to download any application, a local application on your laptop, like Firefox, Mozilla browser, or Chrome browser, or some other application, if you don't investigate properly on that application, where it came from, the ratings, or do some little research, then once you install the application, it might have some background code or background malware, which is feeded into the process, your system process, and can can affect your system. So installing unknown applications that you don't trust. That's a third way. And the fourth way is unauthorized access. For example, you connect to a Wi-Fi, a random Wi-Fi. You go to Starbucks, you go to some other, some other Wi-Fi where it gets connected. It's not secure. And what you will do is you will connect to a Wi-Fi, and then you start browsing for example, you connect to a random website, and then you log in into a financial account, right? Maybe someone might be monitoring your traffic. So let me give you a surprise. People usually spin up devices that creates a Wi-Fi signal. Okay, I guess that's called Pineapple, or I don't know. There are many devices. I don't know if any one of you know those devices. Pineapple, Blueberry, something. So these are the devices that hackers use, and they just sit in the public. They enable that device, so a Wi-Fi notification will pop up to your laptop. So whenever you go to a Starbucks and you think, oh, it's a Starbucks Wi-Fi, you connect to it, okay? And then Evil Twin, alias Grace, Evil Twin, maybe there are many products, trust me. Okay, so Rosina has a question. I didn't get you. What exactly, Rosina? I mean, this is all, what I'm discussing is all general information. This is nothing related to software, CrowdStrike, okay? This is all general information that I'm sharing. Yep, spin up Wi-Fi, okay. Yeah, Jamal, Pineapple, yeah, so the devices. So Rosina, I'm just sharing information where, for example, you go to Starbucks, okay? And you try to connect to a Wi-Fi. You never know what Wi-Fi actually belongs to Starbucks originally. What I can do is I can go to Starbucks, I can use a device that opens up Wi-Fi for everyone, okay? And if anyone connects to my Wi-Fi, right, I can monitor their traffic. So for example, I spin up a Wi-Fi, and Rosina, you come to Starbucks and you think, okay, so this is Starbucks Wi-Fi, and you connect it. I will name my Wi-Fi as Starbucks, okay? So you just sit in the Starbucks and then connect to that Wi-Fi, consider thinking that, okay, it might be Starbucks Wi-Fi, but it's actually mine, what I've just been up. So now you're connected, I can monitor your traffic, right? And once you go, and browse your bank, Chase or Citibank. Eventually, because I'm monitoring traffic, I might be able to get your username and password right away, because I'm monitoring traffic. You are in my own, I mean, you are in my own monitoring network, right? So that's possible. So anytime you go outside, make sure you don't connect to any random Wi-Fi. Instead, open your own hotspot of your phone and then browse the internet. Okay? Yep. So Alaska Shade, news, White House. Okay, that's good. Thank you for sharing the information. I don't know. Let me check. What is that link? Signs of sophisticated cell phone near White House U.S. officials. Yeah, I mean, trust me, hackers are crazy. They spin up some. Wait, let me read it. Okay, that's just the article saying, okay, yeah, okay, it's also type of cyber attack. Of course, yep. So that's the reason the recommendation is do not connect to any random Wi-Fi, especially when you go out to Starbucks or any other social place, and especially if even though you connect to a Wi-Fi, right, you're getting internet. Do not browse any sensitive information. For example, log into your account or something. So that's one of the way attackers will. So that's one of the way you're welcoming attacker to, hey, see my information. You know, all my information is yours. Take it. So don't do it. Instead, use your own personal mobile hotspot and then enforce a password so that you're the only person who connects to your Wi-Fi. Okay. So just sharing some general information. What are the ways that that hackers try to reach out to your laptop and try to get some sensitive information or maybe compromise system. So now, because now that we know all these type of attacks and the ways the hackers can get into it, what's the best way to protect? Install antivirus on your laptop that is already configured, that is capable enough to stop these type of attacks. If, for example, you go to a link and then click download some malware, antivirus or endpoint protection should be able to stop it right away. And that's one of the mitigating control that we would put in place, right? So in my company, we use CrowdStrike. That's the next generation antiviruses, malware detection and protection. So you might, I mean, every company have different choice. McAfee, Trend Micro, Symantec, but CrowdStrike is getting really popular, and one of the popular tools is Symantec as well. It's a complete solution where it will protect your laptop. I mean, it's at corporate level, of course, where it will protect laptop servers from all type of malware and viruses. I'm not saying it will 100%, but maximum of those, because no tool is perfect. There are always hackers who will come up with a new technique to attack your laptop, or they will design a malware in such a way that maybe antivirus protections might not be able to catch it. Okay, so let me give you a little history around how this antivirus is developed by time. So initially, earlier days, antiviruses they just used to have one capability. What the company used to do is they used to gather signatures of all the malware and viruses. Okay, so every malware and virus. What is actually malware and virus? It's just a file, just a code file that is installed to your system that will do some harm to your system. And we are terming as virus. Do not think virus and malware as monsters. Okay, in technology world, it's just a file which is coded in such a way to fetch out your sensitive information or to watch your behavior or to do any harm to you or your laptop. That's called virus and malware. Okay, it's no ghost. It's not magic. It's nothing at all. Okay, so traditionally, what antiviruses used to do is the companies used to gather signatures of all the viruses and malware. What I mean by signatures is every virus and malware has a unique set of code, unique set of ID. That's called signature. Okay. And what the company used to maintain a big database of all the signatures. And once you install the antivirus on your laptop, antivirus used to scan your complete laptop. And if the antivirus was able to find any signature on your laptop that matches the database that they are maintaining, they would flag it as virus. They will flag it as, hey, we have detected virus or malware on your system. That's how traditional antiviruses used to do. And pretty much nowadays, antivirus will do the same functionality, but they have gone to next level. I will tell you what that next level is, okay? So just to give you a little background around the traditional antiviruses, that's how the company used to do, and that's how antiviruses work. Okay? Any questions?
One quick, what about the signature? You saying the hashtag?
Hashes.
Hashes.
Yep.
So, but hashes, is that different for? Okay. I mean, every file.
So hashes, right? So every file has a different hash, and signature is derived from the hash as well. I'm not an expert in creating signatures, but just for your knowledge, okay? I mean, this role will not ask you to develop a signature of a malware unless until you're in forensic or investigation team, okay?
Okay.
Hashes are different. Signatures are derived using part of the hash, but hash is actually a unique identifier of a file. I will show you what will be what are hashes and how you can block file using hashes when we start using CrowdStrike. So maybe at that time you might get a little clarity around it. I'm not using these terms because people, other folks will get easily confused. Okay.
Sure.
So I'm just driving from basics, not using high-tech words. Okay.
Yeah, very easy.
Good. Thank you. So, yeah. Traditionally, companies used to gather all the signatures of the viruses and malware. Okay, so let's take an example. So I have my own signature, right? So you have your own signature. So just consider the same way. Virus and malware have their own unique signature, and what companies used to do is their investigation team used to hunt for all different type of malware and viruses, gather all signatures, unique signatures, and then put them into database of their antivirus. So once the antivirus was installed on this laptop or a system, antivirus will scan the system, and once antivirus finds some signatures, it will check against the database that was gathered after doing intense research, and then if any signature matches the database, it will flag it. It will show a pop-up on your system saying, "Hey, this antivirus found a malware." That's how antiviruses find malware and viruses. Now, the next generation antivirus, the next generation endpoint protection, like CrowdStrike, like Symantec, what they are doing is they have gone to a next level. They're, of course, doing the signature-based comparison and detection. Plus, they are also they're also detecting attacks in real time. What I mean by that is, so if a hacker, tries to change a file on your system, like any executable or any DLL file, just consider any file that is important to a laptop's process, that runs your laptop process. If a hacker or attacker changes that file, right, and try to install it on your system, it will detect in real time. It will tell, hey, someone is trying to change this file, and the detection has been and antivirus have prevented that action. This is a second step that they are utilizing, which is called, of course, artificial intelligence, right? And not completely artificial intelligence, but some sort of machine learning capability. The antivirus, like CrowdStrike, is capable enough to monitor and prevent these type of attacks that are going in real time. So, for example, I'm a hacker. I just created a virus, or I just created a program that will capture all your what you type. That will capture all that information. Keylogger attack. So, for example, I created a program and install on your system, on your laptop, some way. Maybe I sent you a link, you downloaded that application, it ran in the background, and now my program that I wrote to record all what you type on your keyboard, it's running on your system, right? So this CrowdStrike, what they will do is, what this protection will do is, it will monitor all the processes, all the applications that are getting installed, scan them in real time, and block it if it sees any change or any malicious code. That's the level these companies have gone up to. They have put down intense research and coding and a lot of development. And finally, they are able to get this type of capability where antiviruses act really smart and it are capable to learn any attacks by themselves. That's the next level that every antivirus protection now is focusing on. It's called machine learning capability. Okay, so machine learning. I'm giving you this background so that once you go into interview, right? This is the type of question they might ask. Hey, what's the difference between legacy antiviruses now? I mean, why they are claiming they are better, right? So I'm giving this knowledge so that in interview process, as I already mentioned, they will not just ask, hey, do you know how to run this tool? Anyone can run this tool, but do you have enough knowledge to understand the tool and run? That's the question. That's the expectation every company will ask you. So if you go to an interview and they would ask these type of questions. Do you know what a signature, what a hash? I will explain you what are those as we move forward with the application. Okay, do not worry. But these are the things. The reason I'm showing these sharing this information is just to help you out when you go for interview. Okay. Any questions so far? Any concerns, or am I going too fast, or any comments so far? I hope that's pretty straightforward and clear, because I'm trying my best to be at basic level, not to use any terms that bounce off your head. Okay. Okay. So okay, I'll take that as no. Okay. So that was the comparison between what traditional AVs are doing and what nowadays endpoint protection are claiming that they can do. Of course, no tool is perfect, so there will be many false positive and true positives. Okay. So what the term that I just used is a typical term used to declare true positive and false positive. False positive is, for example, antivirus protection detects a event that is claiming as malicious, according to endpoint protection, according to TrustRight. But when you do a research on it, you found that it's just random program that was trying to run. For example, it's just a program that developer was trying to change and run, and CrowdStrike was blocking it. So this type of situations are called false positive, which means CrowdStrike detects as malicious file, but in reality that was not. So this is called as false positive. Just the general terms that are used in the corporate world. Okay, true positive and false positive. True positive is okay. Endpoint protection detected an event, and that's true. That's actually a virus or malware. That's true positive. False positive is if it detects, and when you double check, in reality it was not. That's true. That's false positive. Okay. So what I just told you, that had nothing to do with the slide. I was pretty quick to show up this slide, the laptop and server. I think there's some delay right now. Okay, can you see a slide where CrowdStrike is added into kernel? Okay, I'm actually using another laptop as well, and I'm monitoring, and I see some delay. So I was just kind of curious. Okay, so what we discussed so far is laptops, the ways typically virus and malwares attack your laptop or server. Okay, and of course the comparison between traditional AVs and the current AVs that are claiming to do. Now you know enough that CrowdStrike or any tool that is claiming as next generation endpoint protection, that's the capability that they are implemented. Machine learning. Now let's understand the implementation of CrowdStrike or any tool. I would think maybe Symantec or any other antivirus protection, endpoint protection tools, they might have been deployed at the same logic. But for CrowdStrike, I'm pretty sure. I'm not really sure about other projects, how they have implemented. Okay, so let's try to understand where is CrowdStrike actually implemented. This is all behind the scenes. Okay, so you take CrowdStrike. Okay, there is an agent. There is a file, exe file of CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike will provide you an exe file. You will take that file and then install on your laptop. So for example, you join a company, right? And they give you a project, endpoint protection. Hey, I want you to install these agents on all the endpoints. I mean, I want you to make sure that our antivirus is running on all the laptop servers, okay? And the tool they use, CrowdStrike. So the very first thing, what you will do is, first of all, set up a meeting with the folks, with the deployment team who's responsible to push out packages or files to all the laptops. Being security analyst, you will not go to individual laptops and install the file on the laptop. No, that's not your job. What you will do is set up a file. I'm giving you real-time situations, right? So you go to a company and your manager says, hey, I want you to make sure all the systems are protected by our antivirus. Now, you will set up a meeting with the team who is responsible to push these packages to all the systems. Company usually has tools like SCCM or GPO or different set of tools that they use to push files to everyone at the same time, okay? There are tools that can do it. So in your network, in your own home, you have like 10 laptops, and you want to install antivirus. You will not go and install manually on one-on-one machine. There are some tools where you just connect that tool with these laptops and click install this file. It will get installed. The file will get installed to all your 10 systems at the same time. So these are the tools that company uses. So the very first step you have to do is go ask them to install. Okay. Now what happens? So you just do. I mean, they just install. That's it, and the laptop will show up on CrowdStrike console, like pretty much the Qualys agent. I will show you the tool later on. But let's understand what happens when you install CrowdStrike. Okay. So let's say, example, you install CrowdStrike on laptop. CrowdStrike runs on kernel level. This is basically a system layers, okay? So CrowdStrike sits and run at kernel level. So what is kernel? Kernel is the main process. This is operating system knowledge, okay? This is particular Windows, and you take any operating system, Windows 10, Windows 7, 8, 2008, 2003 server, 2012 server. Every operating system has kernel process. So this process is the main important fundamental process that manages all the operations, that manages all the applications that are running on your system. Okay, so just take it as watchman. Okay, your home, you have a watchman and road outside the internet. Okay, so any process or anyone going inside will go through your watchman. So that's kernel. Kernel will watch all the processes, all the applications that are getting installed on your laptop. And CrowdStrike and these type of tools are the trick they have done is they design in such a way that this CrowdStrike process sits on kernel level and monitors all the applications and processes that are getting installed on your system at kernel level. So it can stop right away before even entering. So example, your watchman, right? It will stop if your watchman sees an unknown person trying to enter your apartment or your house. It will stop right away because you have installed a person right in the right place before that stranger gets into your house or apartment and steals something, right? That's the same logic CrowdStrike or other tools have implemented at kernel level, at watchman level, so that they can stop any application which is malicious according to their analysis and according to their machine learning, and can reject the process and stop it right away from running. Does it make sense? Any questions so far? Okay. I hope it's pretty straightforward, right? I know the example was stupid, watchman, but that's the best way I can describe. So, okay. Yeah, so CrowdStrike, that's the logic behind, that's the way. So, for example, in a company, maybe an interviewer might ask you, hey, do you know where CrowdStrike sits? I mean, we know that we install CrowdStrike, but how is stopping the virus? Where it's installed? What's it monitoring? At what level? So the simple answer will be at kernel level, because kernel is the main process that is being that watches and allows all the execution stuff, and CrowdStrike and this endpoint protection are still at that level. So any process before entering, it will do it. So Rehan has a question, good question. What level were the previous antiviruses were installed? So previous antiviruses were just installed. I mean, of course, on your system, but the functionality was just to scan. They were not doing any machine learning. They were not doing any a sort of artificial intelligence. Okay, the functionality they had was just a random, like you install a random application, for example, Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox browser, into your C drive and stuff. They used to, I mean, still this CrowdStrike will be installed in C drive, but the actual functionality would run at current level. But previous antiviruses, the functionality is just take it as Qualys tool. As soon as you install the agent, it will just scan the system and then compare the signatures against the database and flag it. If there is a match, it will flag it as virus. Okay, just against the database. Yes. Yep. Right. So till my knowledge, yes. The legacy antiviruses just do the comparison against the database signatures and they will just flag it as. But these next level antiviruses, they are really smart and they have designed in such a way. So this is a question, are these trial antiviruses just scan the system and does not perform machine learning right? I am not sure. So Rizina has a question, are these trial antivirus, I mean, the trial antivirus of CrowdStrike just scan the system and does not perform machine learning right? Did I understand your question right, Rosina? Trial antivirus, are you talking about CrowdStrike trial version or previous antiviruses? Any trial antivirus that we install on laptop. Trial antiviruses, I'm not sure. For example, let's take, because we're talking about CrowdStrike, if we install trial CrowdStrike, maybe it might give that functionality, maybe not. Unless and until we saw that trial, I'm not really sure. It should, to be frank, it should, because usually companies download trials to do the POC, proof of concept. So they should give it, but I'm not really sure until we download and actually see it. Okay. I will request Irani to get that trial as well. Yep. So okay, that's how. Any other questions, folks? Yeah, I always get no from Rizwan. Rizwan, I want to hear yes. Just kidding. Okay. So okay. So I hope you understand the concept of where the CrowdStrike is installed and what exactly it's doing, right? Now, once we install it, it will start monitoring all the applications that are running, and of course, the second part is always the signature-based comparison as well. Okay, it's just not machine learning; it's just a part of it. But of course, it will have the legacy antivirus capability plus machine learning and all that different stuff. That was all about the infrastructure of CrowdStrike. Okay, so we discussed how these attacks, how these attacks reach out to you. Okay, the ways, just for your knowledge, and how you can protect it. Of course, for using antivirus and comparison between legacy antiviruses and next generation antiviruses, and where once you install these type of antivirus and endpoint protection, where it fits and what are the functionalities. So this was all the infrastructure and a level of understanding around CrowdStrike endpoint protection. Any questions before we jump onto the tool? I'm pretty sure Yuzal will not comment now. Oh, here you go. No. Okay, any other person? Can you repeat? Aliasgar has a request. Can you repeat? So what exactly do you want me to repeat? About the kernel. Okay.
No, about this CrowdStrike. I mean, it is on kernel level, and it is go to the signature and hashtag. I mean, in a short form, like.
So next generation antiviruses, I told you about machine learning, right? It's
Yeah.
not just machine learning. What they have did is, okay, so when you develop a product, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you start with the basic. You will have basic functionalities, right? Then eventually you will improve. So when you improve and go to the next level, you will not disregard the very first phase, right? Similarly, the new antiviruses will not disregard the signature-based detection as well. So these type of, these endpoint protections will have that signature-based detection plus machine learning capabilities. That's what I meant.
I mean, is only a related CrowdStrike is working at the kernel level. Every antivirus working on the kernel level, or it is specific this one?
So legacy antiviruses, I don't think so. They used to run on kernel level, but now when you see the market right now, the tools like Symantec, CrowdStrike, all these tools have machine learning capabilities now. It's like one releases and other competitors also start implementing the same thing because that's working, right? So CrowdStrike and Symantec, according to my knowledge, CrowdStrike definitely runs at kernel level because of the machine learning capability. Now, for other tools like Symantec or McAfee, I don't know if they have. I mean, they do have machine learning, but I don't know where they operate. My guess, my assumption is they should also run on kernel level because that's the best gatekeeper. That's the best place to install any antivirus that has machine learning capabilities.
And signature level is a characteristic. Every antivirus is a
Yes,
signature level.
that's for
And
sure. Yep.
AI based artificial intelligence, because there's sometimes the signature hashtag is changing new viruses. So they according to the AI base. So that is also now general to every
Yes, pretty much. Because the market have gone to that level, right? No antivirus, yeah, they cannot. So according to my knowledge, like Symantec and there's Carbon Black, there are few tools that has machine learning. I mean, I wouldn't term as AI because AI is completely different. It's just partially AI and machine learning. The reason I'm mentioning partial AI is it's capable enough to run its on own and try to understand the application.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Any other questions, folks? I hope this gives you a basic understanding of where the attack is getting into your system and then how you're blocking all this information. Any questions? Okay. So this is the tool. This is the front end of CrowdStrike. So the way you would do is, I will start from the basic. Okay, you log out. So once you buy a subscription, once you sign up with CrowdStrike, okay, they will give you a URL. I told you all these tools. Okay, so Jamal is what is SaaS? Software SaaS? Software as service, I believe. Yeah. If I'm not wrong, SaaS is software. I mean, where this question came from, Jamal? I'm kind of curious. You can unmute and speak if you want.
Usually you say on the descriptions, they usually mention SaaS endpoint protection required. So I was like kind of confused between what's SaaS and endpoint protection. So
SaaS most likely is software as a service. Let me type. So according to my understanding, software as a service. So, okay, thank you for the validation, Ahmed Ali. Software as service. So basically, that's just a concept. Okay, software as service. Companies are saying, okay, any software that can provide you some sort of service, they're terming as that SaaS. You have jobs, you have developer jobs, I guess, for SaaS as well to develop these type of softwares. Yeah, I don't know in detail about it, but I've heard that term. And so far, what I know is any software that provides you some sort of service,
or it's like a software which has a subscription where you know, something like that.
Sorry, what was that again?
Yeah, a software which has subscription, right? Something like that, which has a like a time limit or subscription where if it
No, no,
ends,
no. I don't think so because every software is structured this way. Because when you buy licenses, they have to have a expired subscription. Because if not, then no. SaaS is software as service. That's yep. So, no, it's provider service. Exactly, Rehan. Yep,
okay.
yep. So so for example let me give you a real time situation. You join a company which has no antivirus, so you're doing POC, proof of concept. You'll be asked, maybe you never know, it depends on the job. So when I entered this company, there were no antiviruses, so they asked me to do proof of concept, POC between antiviruses. So I did CrowdStrike, I did Symantec, I did Carbon Black. They're like, these are the competitors, okay? So they might ask you to do it. It's just what you have to do is compare pros and cons. Okay, this software has this software has this capability, and don't worry about it. If you get that task, you will do it. I'm pretty confident. That's like basic comparison, okay? Gap analysis. So once, for example, you decide to go with CrowdStrike, okay, and you pay whatever the amount is, your manager will take care of it. What they will do is they will spin up your subscription, I mean your particular session, and then what they will do is they will just provide you a link, okay? And all you have to do is then they will provide you login credentials, admin login credentials. Then after that, you can log in and add your own account. So that's pretty much it about the softwares nowadays. This structure and this infrastructure is utilized by all the vendors. It's called cloud solution. That's what it is. You are not actually installing any hardware in your network. So for CrowdStrike, there's nothing installed in my company, in my network. All they did is we went to the CrowdStrike. We said, okay, we like your product. We want to buy it. We want to get the subscription. They asked us to pay, and all they did is just gave me a link using which I can log into the console, okay? And it's a two-factor authentication. Don't get that's a later topic. I will tell you when we discuss around maybe URL or security and training, maybe. It's just a simple concept where you will enter your credentials and as well as some second layer of protection. Maybe a port sent to your mobile phone or something. That's just that's called two-factor authentication. Okay. So coming back to the topic, they will provide you a link where you will use your credentials and enter your system, and here you go. That's your old company detection and stuff. Nothing to install on your premises. Nothing. This concept is called cloud solution. So similarly, Qualys did the same thing, but because it had some scanning capability. Because we were scanning the IPs, we wanted some engine to get installed on your network. Now, it's giving you the cloud solution, but you still have to retrieve some information, right, from the laptops. I know they have set up. They will just give you a link and you just log into a system, but the fact is you want to see all your laptops, right? You want to see all your laptops. Yeah, I was coming to that point, Aliasgar. So Aliasgar, a question: how they access your network? I was actually coming to that point right now. So you get this, and right now I see all this host on this console. How I'm seeing these machines? What you have to do is install Agent. Remember, when we started this class, I told you CrowdStrike has a file, exe executable file, which you have to install on your laptop. Because there is no way companies can actually, companies can automatically gather information without getting in touch. But installing a hardware appliance or a big machine like server into a network, that's gone. Okay, that's no more required. Right, Aliasgar, like Cloud Agent. Yep. Nowadays, all the systems, all the vendors, all the technologies using agents. It's pretty easy because it's just a small application to install on your laptop, and servers, and you're done. That's it. Because earlier, what the critical infrastructure was, companies used to send big machines and ask you to install in your data center. They say, okay, install this big hardware in the data center, and that's how you monitor your network. But nowadays, no one is doing that. It's all cloud-based, and that's the reason cloud learning and cloud technology is growing so fast. Virtual technology, yep. So the installation piece is you get a link, okay? And what you have to do is go in the documents or tools, tool downloads, or you will get a file right away from the CrowdStrike, okay, where you can download sensor download. And for example, you have all Windows, okay? You just have to go and download the Windows. That's it. So what happens if I click download? I get that file, exe. Look, okay? And as soon as this is done, you will provide this file to the team. Remember, I told you initially, there will be a team who will be responsible to install software across all the laptops. It's just not security requirement. Other teams like networking team as well, if they have any technology where it requires to install something on laptops, this team, deployment team, hosting and storage or deployment team is responsible to deploy this. So you'll have to work with them and give this file and say, hey, listen up. By end of this week, I need this file to be installed on all the laptops that we have in our company. Once they do it, there's a tab, there's a third icon where there's a link called host management. When you click it, a portal will pop up where as soon as the agents are installed, they will automatically pop up here. Simple. Look, all these machines, I didn't do nothing. I just gave them the file, asked them to install, and that's it. So let me show you how that file looks like. Look, it's just an executable file. You just have to take this and give it to the respective people who will install it, and done. As soon as you do it, they will the sensor that is installed on the machine, that machine will pop up. So it will give a lot of information like this. So if you click on this link, it will give you, okay, let me take a good example. These are all stupid examples. Okay. Okay, so once you click a machine, it will tell you what type it is. Is it a workstation? Is it a server? Is it, what exactly is that? When the machine was last seen. Now here's the thing. Once you install agent, okay, it will scan the machine, or it will send. So the infrastructure is, you install the agent, okay. The agent will communicate. Of course, the laptop required. The requirement is laptop should have internet, okay. That's how the agent that is sitting on the laptop will communicate all the information collected by the agent to the CrowdStrike server, and then from that server you will get updated here. Okay, so imagine if the laptop does not have internet, there will be no communication channel to transmit the update. So the requirement is laptop should have internet, and so that's how you by seeing last seen, you can figure it out. Okay, how active is that agent or machine? So agent scans laptop every 5 minutes. Okay, CrowdStrike agents scan laptop every 5 minutes, and it gives information in real time. It has to be active because attack can happen anytime. That's the reason it scans every 5 minutes and update the information around that. So first scene, when was the machine first, when was the agent installed? Then unique host ID, local IP address. You know, the IP address is assigned to that particular machine. This is internal, remember. MAC address, OS version, so it's Windows 7 machine. The domain that is connected to. Jessica is one of my company's name. So as already mentioned, I have my company has 25, 26 different companies, and they have different domains. So usually domain names are similar to the company name. Okay, the model HP Lite, for that's the it's a HP laptop site, and these are all the information that it will gather automatically. You don't have to do nothing. So this is particular host management. Okay, now you're done. You you're done with the installation. So now if you want to check the detections piece, before even that, let me show you if you want to find a host, if you want to find a host in the CrowdStrike, if you want to check that machine. So for example, if you have a machine name, okay, so let's take my own machine name. Oops, why I'm opening Notepad? Okay, so I want to check if CrowdStrike is installed on this machine. Okay, what I would do, I will go to the third icon, host management, and click here. There are multiple search variables that you can use. So I will use host name and paste my host computer name. Enter. That's my own machine because right now CrowdStrike is running, right? The way I can check CrowdStrike is running or not is, of course, going through. Wait. Okay, yeah. So first, let me show you is installed and how I can double check on my own system. First of all, if you don't have visibility into that system and you cannot reach out to it, you can of course use that name and type in here and search. It will tell you the machine has CrowdStrike agent or not. Okay. Now it's showing 2 instances. Why is that? Can anyone guess? It's showing 2 agents, 2 instances of my own machine. Why is that? Can anyone have a guess? Oh, so my bad. I didn't saw the question. I will pause my question. But Elias, guys, what happens if new virus attacks during offline or not connected? Really good question. So Asghar has a question: what happens if new virus attack during offline or not connected? So here's the point. Internet is required just to transfer information from that laptop to server. But in reality, agent is working and doing his job 24/7 whenever the laptop is online, whether it has connectivity or not. The agent itself has the file that is installed on your system has that capability already to block it. It does not require internet to block or prevent anything. Internet is just required to transfer the information that it gathered. That's it. I hope you understand the difference now. Is that clear? Is it confusing? Okay, great. But a good question though. Okay, so I'll come back to my question if anyone has no questions so far.
You need to log in. So once you log in, it says first seen, and if you log out and like from the CrowdStrike, it says last seen because it doesn't like work in the background. I guess.
Unfortunately, that's not right. So Ahmed has a comment: software downloaded twice on the same device. You're smart, yeah. So IPs change. Alias, good guess, but no. Jamal, good guess, but unfortunately not. So Ahmed Ali is right. Ahmed software downloaded twice on the same machine. So what happens is here, usually, so when you're monitoring this software, okay, you might get confused. So what happens is what I did on July 25th. What I did, I uninstalled CrowdStrike for some testing and then reinstalled CrowdStrike again. Okay, so when I uninstall it and then reinstall a new again, it will create a new instance. That's what the second one is, because you can easily guess seeing which instance is active by seeing last seen. So this instance, last seen was July 25th, which is way too far, and this is August 20th, which is today. So this instance is pretty active, and that means I installed the second, the one that I installed second time. This is the instance, but the first one is still there. Now the reason it's still there is CrowdStrike takes 45 days to take off to eliminate any instance which is not active. Okay, that's the reason it's still out there. So the last seen was July 25th. So most likely 45 days starting July 25th. After 45th day, this instance will be gone because it's not active. Okay, I hope that makes sense, right? Alias got the question: how they remember machine by MAC address? What do you mean? How they remember machine by MAC address?
I mean, how it remember that the host name? I mean, how, because if somebody changed your machine laptop host name, or I mean, how they track in the database, the according to the IP or MAC address.
How they're tracking the agent, you mean?
Yeah.
So of course there are a lot of variables like MAC address, host name. The unique thing will be the host name and MAC address.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the agent that is running on your system, it sits on the system and scans everything, all the information, and reports to the CrowdStrike console. And the differentiator, the unique identifier, will be host name, MAC address, IP address changes. So that cannot be unique, because remember DHCP laptops get their IP address get changed every time as soon as they leave network, join network. Remember the concept. The IP address cannot be unique. For example, my system is right now using the IP address, right? Maybe when I go offline and one of my friend who's in the same network gets online, he might get this IP address back, right? So the unique identifiers will be MAC address, because that's a unique address of your laptop, and the host name, of course. This will not change ever. Okay?
Okay. Okay. But I build the other machine with the host name, same host name, or spoiling the MAC address, the same thing.
It will just pop up here. It will just pop up here, and then you will have hard time to figure it out which one is right, because CrowdStrike does not do the validation. It's you. It's just showcase all the information collected by agent.
Okay.
It's not doing the segregation. It's not telling you this is the device. It's just taking all the data and pushing that to your console. Now it will be on your side to find what system is that, or to what company it belongs to.
Okay.
So you will have to have that inventory list by the other department who is responsible to maintain the inventory database of all the systems that exist in your network or exist in your company. Okay? Any other questions, folks? Okay, so I know we are over 12 minutes. I will just continue for more 10 minutes, and 9:30 we can stop, okay? Okay, so great. Okay, so yeah, this is a situation that you can come across in 2 instances. So I hope that's clear, right? Once you uninstall and install again, you will have a new instance with the new installation, and the old instance will be gone after 45 days. Okay. Now, once you install this CrowdStrike agent on your laptop, okay, if you want to see detections, whether there were any detections on that machine or not, you will have to go to the very first logo and click detections. So I'm driving you in a way where it starts with installation, how you can get detections, and how you can make policies. Okay. Most likely we'll do policies tomorrow. We'll stop here today. We'll stop with the deployment strategies. Okay. So again, I will go to detections, host name, and then enter my own host name, laptop. Ooh, I had detections. Okay, that's interesting. July 27th there was a detection on July 27th. So if I want to see what was detected, what type of malware or virus was detected. Okay. So here's a good example. Yeah. These detections will be automatic. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is make sure agent is installed, and everything will be taken care of by CrowdStrike. You don't have to do anything except making policies, which we'll do tomorrow. Based on the policies, it will detect. But do not worry about policies as of now. Just concentrate on this deployment strategy and how you can check detections. So what I did, I try to see. So I get a request from my operations team or from my from my investigations or forensics team that, okay, you know what? Can you just check any detections? Were there any detections on this particular machine? All you would do is come here, go to detections, and then type in that host name, because you will have to ask, hey, can you provide the host name? That's really important. If they don't provide you host name, there's nothing you can do. Okay. So you'll have to insert host name, and then this is where you will get the detections area. Okay. and one by one you can just go. So the green light means the executable or the attack was prevented, or the execution of that particular file application was blocked. Okay, you see green with slash. That's what CrowdStrike detects. Now Symantec and other tools can be different. Okay, do not just keep CrowdStrike in mind. It depends on what tool your company will use. So if you want to see the details around the detection, so this was the actual file that got blocked, executable, and this was the whole path. Okay, so it gives you the executable that was run from which path. This was the actual. So this is one of the software that was that actually installed. That's free application that I installed on my own system that got blocked by CrowdStrike. I don't know why, because I haven't investigated much. I know that's legit software that I downloaded because it's a point of sale software where that's a software I downloaded to. You go to a restaurant, right? They use the software for the billing. That's what the software is. I was just trying to download and check some stuff, and it got blocked for some reason. Maybe I don't know, the machine learning. As I already mentioned, no tool is perfect. So this type of situations I will call as false positive because I know the software was legit, belongs to a legit company, right? Maybe the way they have coded or developed might be not with good practices, but it does not have any virus or malware. I was pretty sure about it. So these type of situations can be false positive. This type of situation is called false positive, where the investigation teams, for example, what happens is there are other tools that monitor your environment, that monitor your endpoints, and someone from investigation team might reach out to you saying, "Hey, your system, we saw a few detections on your system. Okay, can you please confirm? Did you download this executable file?" So I would say yes, I did, and that's a legit software that I downloaded. So by getting this information, the investigation team, right? You're an analyst, you are not an investigator. Okay, your role is different from the people who are working in the same security team who will be doing investigations and all this attacking stuff. Okay, you're on defensive side. Remember, do not forget that. So they will come and ask you, "Hey, did you download this executable, or you don't know about this?" So if I said I don't know about it, that means someone, or maybe I clicked some long link that downloaded this executable without my knowledge. So that might be a malware. Then they would initiate incident response, and then they would use some tools to dive deep, analyze that executable, maybe do reverse engineering, a lot of different things. That's all complicated stuff. Okay. So they will come to you and ask you, "Hey, did you download?" So I will say yes. So this way they will make sure that ECWA is done by the person, user, and it's legit. So they will flag as false positive. Any questions?
One more thing, one quick thing. Just like in the callers we put exceptional cases. For example, if some patch is the software is
Exception.
so it is also option that is antivirus that this particular patch you are detecting as a virus or some bad
Malware.
software. Yeah.
Absolutely, there is a way. Good question. So we will cover that tomorrow. So CrowdStrike, as I already mentioned, so if I'm a developer, okay, let me repeat the question what Elias is asking. He's asking if there is a detected and prevented by CrowdStrike. So if there is a file executable that is prevented by CrowdStrike, and you know that file is legit, and you want that to run, okay, you don't want that to get blocked by CrowdStrike every time. So there is a feature called file exclusion and prevention, or maybe whitelisting of hash. Okay, prevention hashes and file exclusion. These are the two links there where we can use and whitelist any executable. So if I say whitelist this executable, that means CrowdStrike will not block that executable moving forward. Okay. So yeah, every software will have that because, as I already mentioned, no tool is perfect, and they would have to do it. So yep. Now coming back to the real situation, they will come to you and they will get information around, "Hey, did you install it?" I will say yes, and this is for this purpose. So they will flag it as false positive, and they will note down as ignored. Okay. But depending on your job role, you might be, so I don't know. It depends on the company. Maybe you might need to do some investigations if you handle endpoint protection. Maybe, maybe not. It depends. Completely depends on the job role. But usually, analyst folks does not do investigation. That's a complete different. Because I myself, I mean, initially I used to do it, but we recently, I mean, a few months ago, we hired a lot of people, and then we divided roles and responsibilities. So I'm more like architecture and engineering team. So I don't do that investigation. There's another team who monitors this events every day. But my role is to maintain the platform, make sure everything is working right. If there are any critical alerts, just notify them, hey, what's going on? You have not taken care of this critical. Okay. So there will be another team who will be monitoring alerts and then doing some research on it. Okay. That's a typical infrastructure, but it depends. Again, it depends on your own company where you get hired. If they ask you to do some investigation, you have to do it. So the way you would do it is, as soon as you get a C detection on any machine. So let me clear the filter out. So look, for example, there's a new detection on this particular machine. It says status new, assigned, unassigned. What usually operations team will do is they will go and they will assign a person to work on this particular detection. So maybe say in progress and assign a person. That's how you will see name and status as change. But if you want to find new detection, this is how it will look like. Assign, unassigned, status new, and new detection. This is a system machine name, okay? And I would figure out this. So now I have to. First step is I have to figure it out to whom this belongs to. Okay, right? I have my company has 25 different companies. I have to first detect. I have to figure out who's the owner of this machine. So I would do by domain. This is my headquarters machine. I know this domain by default because it's my own company infrastructure, right? When you join a new company, you will get familiar with the domain. So don't worry about it. The very first thing I'll do is find that machine. Where is that machine? Who's the owner of that machine? Once I get that, also you can use Active Directory. I don't want to pull you that side, but don't worry about it. First of all, the very first task is you would find that machine who owns that, and then ask them, hey, did you run this? If not, then you will use Google and try to find what is executable purpose is, and then if you want to get details around the file detections, there is a link called full detection details. When you click it, it will draw a map where it came from. So it derived from this executable of your operating system, then went to service executable, SVC host executable, and then try to execute this executable, right? So this is the file path or where this executable got derived, and this is the actual path, file path. This is hash. I will cover what's hash tomorrow, not today, okay? And it says currently running. Look, so my team should really see this as soon as possible. But never mind, I mean, CrosStrike it didn't block it. Look, there is no slash. Oh, my bad, it prevented, sorry. Yeah, okay. So high severity event detection was prevented. CrosStrike prevented, stopped it right away, but still running. So now the investigation team will have to reach out to this particular machine and ask, what is this executable? Did you recently download or click anything? Now, then you will check hash. You will check virtual virus total hash. I will tell you this tomorrow as well. Don't get confused. So there are a few checks that you can do just to make sure whether it's risky or not. Okay. As of today, just try to understand how you can search for the new events and for the old events. These are all new detected by CrosStrike, and trust me, CrosStrike detects a lot of things. Some might be false positive, some might be true positive. Okay. So today we went through the endpoint protection and laptops, the ways it can attack your system, then how the infrastructure of CrowdStrike, and also how we can install CrowdStrike, how we can check whether they have deployed, and also how to check detections on systems, and a little bit more information on that. Okay, tomorrow what we will do is we will do some more deep analysis on how you can check the machine and what are hashes, plus how you can design your own policies. Then after that, yeah, how we can define own policies. So there are a few things that we want to cover tomorrow, along with the proper tool of this tool. Okay. Any questions so far? Oh, okay. So I'll use the other question. It also do on mobile devices, Android and iPhone. No, as of now, they don't support any mobile phones. IoT devices depends on the nature. Internet of Things, it depends, but majorly it's targeted for laptops, servers, and any Windows, Linux, Mac laptops, Apple laptops, Linux, and Windows. Okay.
What happen if your office guy using the BlackBerry or Android phone to access the office emails?
Mm-hmm.
So when they are connected to your server or something.
So there are other controls to prevent folks using email through their laptop, through their phones. But here's the thing. It connects to a server, but there are some filtrations and security controls put in place. So anything goes wrong, it will not affect. I mean, what I mean by that is, if a person browses an email through his phone or her phone, okay? If the person clicks the link or something, it gets downloaded on the local phone. It does not get downloaded on the email server because you're not accessing actual server. You're just accessing your email. Right?
Okay.
So there's a defined line of infrastructure where anything gets infected through email, the local machine will get infected.
And what about just like swapping credit card machine? This is also a part. There's a separate antivirus for this one. I mean, they coming to the data and they connect it to the server and then.
So the swiping machines, those machines are not really. I mean, I don't think so. Anyone can hide. I mean, they can hijack, but I don't think so. They can be exploited anyway. I mean, anyone can record information what is going through it, but I don't think so. They can exploit that machine because the way they are built. So to your point, the machine, I mean, actual server that the machine connects to, that server can get affected, but not the machine.
Okay. Just like a Target, they breach. They do.
Absolutely. So Target, what happened was, so what happens is, credit card, the machine, okay? Whenever anyone swipes the machine, all the information goes to server. It does not stay on machine. Machine is just a hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get my point? So machine is just a way of using that card, but all the information is collected on the server. So the server got compromised during that target attack. So what happened was, attackers was able to put down a software on a server where it would record all the machine information and then transfer that information to the attacker's domain, server.
Okay, so there's an entirely new generation of the things like IoT devices, like electronic metering coming and sensors coming that is connected to the network. So this antivirus limited to the you say the desktop or servers, that is a separate scanning.
Maybe they might support some limited IoT devices, but I'm not really sure because so far what I got exposed is to just laptop and servers. Okay, and my company is a manufacturing firm, so they don't deal with a lot of IoT or digital development things. So maybe that's the reason. Yeah, but to my knowledge, I'm not really sure. Maybe you can try on CrowdStrike if they support some IoT device protections.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So Rehan has a question. Are we not monitoring CrowdStrike as security analyst, or are we just deploying it because you said the investigation team does things? So that's so again, I would repeat, it depends on your job role. Initially, when I deployed it, I used to monitor the detections. Okay, I used to monitor detections. I used to the way I used to do is first check if we have any critical detections. Then I used to investigate. I used to go to that user and then ask, and then do some research on that executable. Where's the possibility, if there's an editability, and then check against the VirusTotal. If anyone reported that executable as malware or malicious, no, you can see it. VirusTotal is one of the big websites where people report if there's any malicious executable. So there are a few limited checks that you do using CrowdStrike, but if you really want to do hybrid analysis, you will need some forensics tools where you can download that executable, open that, read the code, and do reverse engineering. So that's a complete investigation. So analyst is can do the administration part plus some minimum level of investigation where you can tell, okay, it's risky or it's not. Okay, so that's the job role of analyst, being from defensive side. Now, if you want to do research and investigation stuff, yeah, you will have to go into forensics team where they will be attacking, they will be doing some reverse engineering. There you will require coding knowledge because these executables can be developed in C#, Java, or some PHP, or maybe some other languages. Okay? Any other questions before we wrap up to this session? I mean, the good part is this role does not include a lot of coding. Maybe some little bit knowledge of scripting, but this role does not require coding language. That's the beauty. If you're scared of coding or development, this role does not require a lot of coding or a lot of scripting. Okay? Yeah. I mean, I know most of the people does not like coding. Initially, I started doing development as well, but down the line, I was like, hey, I love my hairs. Okay, I don't want to lose them by just doing development or scratching my head every time. So I mean, it depends on the interest. I'm a person who's really easygoing. I don't like a lot of stress. So this kind of role is really enjoying. You will learn a lot of things, and you can enjoy life too. Because the teams that are in forensics, in research and stuff, trust me, they work 20 hours a day because that's the type of job that is. I'm not saying it's bad. It depends. It completely depends on your interest. If you have that enthusiasm to go in investigations or do some deep analysis or attacking or compromise something, here you go. Of course. Yeah, this one is like 24/7. Maybe, depends. My team, I mean, so initially when I joined this job, initial 8 months, I was doing investigations, email investigations, this type of investigations, doing some logs analysis and a lot of this stuff. And trust me, at that time, those 8 months were really tough for me. I was coming from office and working at home as well because I had to do some investigation and make sure that nothing hits my my company. And I remember during the time of Ramadan, I got up for Sahari, early morning, 3 o'clock or 4 a.m., I guess. And that time I got a call from one of my, so we have a team, my company has a team called third party who monitors my company's network for any malicious activity. That project is called SIM, Security Event and Incident Monitoring. Every company has this project where there'll be a set of people who will be monitoring logs. So I told you, in that project, you will use a platform like Splunk. You will forward all the logs of servers and endpoints, and you will monitor. There'll be a team who will be monitoring for any malicious activities, and they will do their job in shifts, right? 24/7, so that they have to support 24/7 model. And I was the primary person to contact in case of emergency at that time because we didn't have team. I'm talking about like 2 years ago. We didn't have team, so I was the primary person who used to take calls for any critical incidents. And they used to call me in late night as well, and hey, there's some ransomware attack on one of your server. So I used to go online and do some investigation and block it right away. The next day, do complete investigations, then deal with legal team. Oh my goodness, that was yeah. So I got exposed to that as well. But trust me, I wouldn't like that as my career because everyone have their different goals. Mine is like more going to a manager level and being like a director. So for that role, starting as an analyst, getting exposed to these many tools, that will really help you to drive that position. Just for your knowledge, okay? So maybe once you get exposed to a lot of tools and then you know how to run them, you can sit in that position down the line, maybe down the line 5-10 years, being a manager or director where you have knowledge around these many tools and you know how to run them, and then you can eventually hire one individual assembly for that tool, and then you will be the person who will be driving the whole team. Yep. Connected vehicles. Here you go. Yep. So enough of the lecture, right? Any other questions before we wrap up? So yeah, I will try to stay 1.5 hour every day from 8 to 9:30. I will try to wrap up at 9, but it depends on the situation. You know, if the topic is interesting, everyone is enjoying, we will continue for more half an hour. But yeah, just to let you know, we'll take from 8 to 9:30. Okay. Last call for the questions. Okay, so I think everyone is pretty good with today's session, and well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. CST. Okay. Meanwhile, if there's any concerns or anything that you want to share, WhatsApp group is always there. Feel free to put a message down. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much.